Donald Trump family and personal life. Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, is the 45th and current President of the United States. Before entering politics, he was a businessman and television personality. Trump was born and raised in Queens, New York City, and earned an economics degree from the Wharton School. He then took charge of the Trump Organization, the real estate and construction firm founded by his paternal grandmother, which he ran for 45 years until 2016. During his real estate career, Trump built, renovated, and managed numerous office towers, hotels, casinos, and golf courses. Besides real estate, he started several side ventures and has licensed the use of his name for the branding of various products and properties, including Trump Entertainment Resorts, Trump Steaks, and Trump Vodka. He was the founder of Trump University. He owned the Miss USA and Miss Universe pageants from 1996 to 2015, and he produced and hosted The Apprentice, a reality television series on NBC, from 2004 to 2015. His net worth was estimated to be $3.5 billion as of 2017, making him the 544th richest person in the world. Trump first publicly expressed interest in running for political office in 1987. He won two Reform Party presidential primaries in 2000, but withdrew his candidacy early on. In June 2015, he launched his campaign for the 2016 presidential election and quickly emerged as the front-runner among 17 candidates in the Republican primaries. His remaining opponents all suspended their campaigns by the end of May 2016, and in July he was formally nominated at the Republican National Convention along with Indiana Governor Mike Pence as his running mate. Many of his campaign statements were controversial or false, generating much free media coverage. Trump won the general election on November 8, 2016, in a surprise victory against Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton and commenced his presidency on January 20, 2017. He became the oldest and wealthiest person ever to assume the presidency, the first without prior military or government service, and the fifth to have won the election while receiving a smaller share of the popular vote than an opponent. His political positions have been described by scholars and commentators as populist, protectionist, and nationalist. Family and personal life. His history. Trump's ancestors originated from the German village of Karlstadt, Palatinate on his father's side, and from the Outer Hebrides Isles of Scotland on his mother's side. All his grandparents, and his mother, were born in Europe. His mother's grandfather was also christened Donald. Trump's paternal grandfather, Friedrich Trump, first emigrated to the United States in 1885 at the age of 16, and became a citizen in 1892. He amassed a fortune operating boomtown restaurants and boarding houses in the Seattle area and the Klondike region of Canada, during the Gold Rush. On a visit to Karlstadt, he met Elizabeth Christ and married her in 1902. The couple settled in New York definitively in 1905. Friedrich died from influenza during the 1918 pandemic. Trump's father Fred was born in 1905 in the Bronx, and started working with his mother in real estate when he was 15, shortly after his father's death. Their company, Elizabeth Trump & Son, was primarily active in the New York boroughs of Queens and Brooklyn. Fred eventually built and sold thousands of houses, barracks and apartments. The company would later become the Trump Organization when Donald Trump took over in 1971. Donald's mother Marianne was born in Tongue, Lewis, Scotland. In 1930, at age 18, she emigrated to New York where she worked as a maid. Fred and Mary were married in 1936 and raised their family in Queens. Fred's brother John, Donald Trump's uncle, became a notable physicist and inventor. Early life and education. Donald Trump was born on June 14, 1946 at the Jamaica Hospital Medical Center, Queens, New York City. He was the fourth of 5 children born to Frederick Christ Fred Rumb, 1905 to 1999, and Mary Ann Rumb, née MacLeod, 1912 to 2000. His siblings are Mary Ann, born 1937, Fred Jr., 1938 to 1981, Elizabeth, born 1942, and Robert, born 1948. Trump grew up in the Jamaica Estates neighborhood of Queens, New York. He attended the Kew Forest School from kindergarten through 7th grade. At age 13, Trump's parents enrolled him in the New York Military Academy, after discovering Donald made frequent trips into Manhattan without permission. In August 1964, Trump entered Fordham University. He transferred to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania 2 years later, because it offered one of the few real estate studies departments in United States academia at the time. In addition to his father, Trump was inspired by Manhattan developer William Zeckendorf, vowing to be even bigger and better. While at Wharton, he worked at the family business, Elizabeth Trump and Son, graduating in May 1968 with a Bachelor of Science degree in economics. Trump was not drafted during the Vietnam War. While in college from 1964 to 1968, he obtained 4 student deferments. In 1966, he was deemed fit for service based upon a military medical examination, and in 1968 was briefly classified as fit by a local draft board, but was given a 1Y medical deferment in October 1968, attributed to heel spurs. In 1969, he received a high number in the draft lottery, which made him unlikely to be called. Family. Rumb has 5 children by 3 marriages, and has 8 grandchildren. His first 2 marriages ended in widely publicized divorces. Trump married his first wife, Czech model Ivana Zelníková, on April 7, 1977, at the Marble Collegiate Church in Manhattan in a ceremony performed by the Reverend Norman Vincent Peale. 31-32, they had 3 children, son Donald Jr., born December 31, 1977, daughter Ivanka, born October 30, 1981, and son Eric, born January 6, 1984. Ivana became a naturalized United States citizen in 1988. The couple divorced in 1992 following Trump's affair with actress Marla Maples. In October 1993, Maples gave birth to Trump's daughter Tiffany, named after Tiffany & Company. Maples and Trump were married 2 months later on December 20, 1993. They were divorced in 1999, and Tiffany was raised by her mother in California. Trump married Slovene model Melania Noss on January 22, 2005 at Bethesda by the Sea Episcopal Church in Palm Beach, Florida, followed by a reception at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. In 2006, Melania acquired United States citizenship and she gave birth to their son Barron on March 20. Upon Trump's succession to the presidency, Melania became First Lady of the United States. Prior to his inauguration as president, Trump delegated the management of his real estate business to his 2 adult sons, Eric and Don Jr. His daughter Ivanka resigned from the Trump Organization and moved to Washington with her husband Jared Kushner. She serves as assistant to the president, while he is a senior advisor in the White House. Trump's elder sister, Marianne Trump Barry, is an active federal appeals court judge on the Third Circuit. Religion. Trump's ancestors were Lutherans on his father's side in Germany and Presbyterian on his mother's side in Scotland. His parents married in a Manhattan Presbyterian church in 1936. As a child, he attended the First Presbyterian Church in Jamaica, Queens, and had his confirmation there. In the 1970s, his family joined the Marble Collegiate Church, an affiliate of the Reformed Church in America, in Manhattan. The pastor at the church, Norman Vincent Peale, author of The Power of Positive Thinking and the Art of Living, ministered to Trump's family and mentored him until Peale's death in 1993. Trump, who is Presbyterian, has cited Peale and his works during interviews when asked about the role of religion in his personal life. Trump participates in the Holy Communion, but usually does not ask God for forgiveness. He stated, "I think if I do something wrong, I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture." On the campaign trail, Trump has referred to The Art of the Deal as his second favorite book after the Bible, saying nothing beats the Bible. In a 2016 speech to Liberty University, he referred to 2 Corinthians instead of 2 Corinthians, eliciting chuckles from the audience. Despite this, the New York Times reported that evangelical Christians nationwide thought that his heart was in the right place, that his intentions for the country were pure. Trump has had relationships with a number of Christian spiritual leaders, including Florida pastor Paula White, who has been called his closest spiritual confidant. In 2015, he received a blessing from the Greek Orthodox priest Emanuel Lemelson, and in 2016, he released a list of his religious advisors, including James Dobson, Jerry Falwell Jr., Ralph Reed and others. Referring to his daughter Ivanka's conversion to Judaism before her marriage to Jared Kushner, Trump said, "I have a Jewish daughter, and I am very honored by that." Health. A 2016 medical report issued by his doctor, Harold Bornstein MD, showed that Trump's blood pressure, liver and thyroid function were in normal ranges. Trump says that he has never smoked cigarettes or consumed other drugs, including marijuana. He also drinks no alcohol, a decision arising in part from watching his older brother Fred Jr. suffer from alcoholism until his early death in 1981. Wealth. Trump has said that he began his career with a small loan of $1 million from his father. Trump appeared on the initial Forbes list of wealthy individuals in 1982 with an estimated $200 million fortune, including an undefined share of the fortune belonging to his family and father. During the 1980s he became a billionaire, but was absent from the Forbes list from 1990 to 1995 following losses which reportedly obliged him to borrow from his siblings' trusts in 1993. After his father died in 1999, he and his surviving siblings received shares of his father's estate, which was valued at more than $20 million. When he announced his candidacy on June 16, 2015, Trump released a one-page financial summary that stated a net worth of $8,737,540,000. The following month, he filed a 92-page disclosure and put his wealth at over $10 billion. His presidential announcement speech mentioned that "I'm really rich," which he said would make him less reliant upon large campaign donations. Forbes believed his net worth estimate was a whopper, figuring it was $4.1 billion in 2015, 405th in the world, 133rd in the U.S. Trump also stated in the long 2015 financial disclosure that his income for the year 2014 was $362 million. After Trump made controversial remarks about illegal immigrants in 2015, he lost business contracts with several companies that summer, which Forbes estimated negatively impacted his net worth by $125 million. The value of the Trump brand may have fallen further during his presidential campaign, as some consumers boycotted in response to his candidacy. Bookings and foot traffic at Trump-branded properties fell off sharply in 2016, though Trump's 104-page financial disclosure in May 2016 still put his wealth at over $10 billion as he had done the previous July. The release of the Access Hollywood tape recordings in October 2016 put further pressure on his business. In their 2017 annual billionaires ranking, Forbes estimated Trump's net worth at $3.5 billion, 544th in the world, 201st in the U.S., making him one of the richest politicians in American history. These estimates have fluctuated from year to year, and also depending upon who is doing the estimations. Bloomberg News pegged his wealth at $3 billion in 2016, whereas Forbes said $4.5 billion that same year, 324th in the world, 113th in the U.S. The discrepancies among these estimates and with Trump's own estimates stem from the uncertain value of appraised property and of his personal brand. Tax returns. As required of all presidential candidates by FEC regulations, Trump published a 92-page financial disclosure form that listed all his assets, liabilities, income sources and hundreds of business positions, but he declined to release his tax returns, contrary to usual practice by every presidential candidate since Gerald Ford in 1976. Trump's refusal led to speculation that he was hiding something, although there is no law that requires presidential candidates to release their returns. Trump explained that his tax returns are being audited and his lawyers advise against releasing them. No law prohibits release of tax returns during an audit. Tax attorneys differ about whether such a release is wise legal strategy. Trump has told the news media that his tax rate was none of your business, but added, "I fight very hard to pay as little tax as possible." On October 1, 2016, 3 pages of Trump's 1995 tax return were leaked to a New York Times reporter, who said the documents were received in her Times mailbox. Each of the 3 pages is 1 page from Trump's state filings in Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey. They show that using allowed deductions for losses, Trump claimed a loss of $916 million that year. During the second presidential debate, Trump acknowledged using the deduction, but declined to provide details such as the specific years it was applied. When asked if he used the tax code to avoid paying taxes, he said, "Of course I did. Of course I did." He then went on to say he paid hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes, calling it a simple thing. "I pay tax, and I pay federal tax, too," he said. On March 14, 2017, the first 2 pages of Trump's 2005 federal income tax returns were leaked to MSNBC's Rachel Maddow show. The 2 pages showed that Trump paid $38 million in federal taxes and had a gross adjusted income of $150 million. The White House confirmed the authenticity of the 2005 documents and stated, "Despite the substantial income figure and tax paid, it is totally illegal to steal and publish tax returns.